it should enrage you that you're being lied to by your government about their COVID policies, and now they're being asked questions about it in Congress. And you want to see the kind of garbage answers you're getting?
Oh, is this
and where's the outrage? There was a mandate for child masks to mask 2-year-olds. It was always horrible. It's a crime against children to mask them. It's a crime against children, everything they did to them during COVID. But watch this answer and tell me if this doesn't enrage you.
Mr. Secretary, did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
Do what now?
Did forcing 2-year...
Do what's this? What now?
What happened?
Who? How with the who and the he wop? I don't what the whoa. You know, when the guy starts with the how with the what now, you know a real honest answer is coming. How with the what now?
He's just preparing his honest...
What's this with the whoopsie? Hi, diddy woo. Hi, I got glasses. Whoa, don't hit. The hitting hurts. Hitting high with the thing. Ready? Here we go.
Mr. Secretary, did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
Do what now?
Did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
Making sure people were masked.
You know, first of all, a child could answer that question, except they can't now because they were masked for 3 years and they're 3 years behind.
they lost valuable speaking.
They lost valuable speaking.
Mr. Secretary, did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
Do what now?
Did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks
He
save
reacted
lives?
like he was just asked, like, are unicorns real?
Yeah, huh? What
are you
what's
talking
this?
about? First time hearing of this.
What? What's this masking?
Mr. Secretary, did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
Do what now?
Did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
Making sure people were masked when it was appropriate was essential to make sure that we were able to get out of this pandemic.
Sure, but that wasn't my question. Could you answer the question that I...
Wow, he really Fauci'd that answer. This is the approach we're taking? Is that the answer?
I don't know if you remember, Mrs. Secretary, but the fear-mongering slogan was not wearing masks when appropriate will get us through this pandemic. It was wearing masks saves lives.
Yeah, and then at the street level, it was you killed my grandma from not wearing a mask.
That's right. You're going to kill my family because you're not wearing a mask and you're not vaccinated.
What's this nuanced language suddenly?
Right? All of a sudden, there's all this nuance around COVID and masking and vaccines. Never was before. But as soon as they get questioned...
Well, taking your shoes off at the airport will help us get through this.
Yeah.
Making sure people were masked when it was appropriate was essential to make sure that we were able to get out of
That is not what they said. They said wearing masks saves lives. If you don't wear a mask, you're trying to kill my family. You're going to kill my grandma. What are you doing? You're a monster. You're selfish. You're selfish. You don't care about other people. You're a bad citizen. They said all that you should be separated from society. All that stuff. And now he's saying making sure
it was essential to get out of the pandemic
where it was appropriate.
Because we made it essential in every place under the threat of...
Why was it essential? First of all, that's not even true. That you just made that up,
Did
too.
it save any adult lives,
there
by the way?
has never been any science to back up their masks. Never. There never was before the pandemic. There still isn't any.
They all knew it before, too. I didn't know this.
All the scientists and doctors knew before the pandemic that you don't mask during a viral outbreak. They knew this. Fauci said the truth.
I didn't believe him, but he was telling the truth on that.
So let's watch the rest of this bullshit answer. Watch this.
Pandemic.
Sure, but that wasn't my question. Could you answer the question that I asked?
Which is?
Did forcing 2-year-olds to wear masks save lives?
And who did the forcing?
Well, your department.
So he just won't answer the question. And now who did the force? Your department. That's why he's asking you fuckface. This doesn't
say that.
This doesn't enrage you that these are government workers inside Biden's Save Democracy government, completely bullshitting the American people and stonewalling them and refusing to answer questions. I thought that's what Trump did. I thought Trump was a liar like this. I thought Trump was deceived. He was completely, blatantly dishonest like this and wouldn't answer a straight question about COVID policy. I thought that's what Trump did.
Well,
I thought that Rachel Maddow couldn't show Trump because he's such a liar. But these guys, this doesn't piss you off. If this doesn't piss you off, you are propagandized or fucking dead inside.
Well, you didn't. The only way I would even see this is why these hearings where I'm like, it's great.
They're not going to show them on the news.
Yeah, like I only see it because of your show. Like I would never watch C-SPAN on my own.
Right.
And who did the forcing?
Well, your department, or the Head Start, which is under your department, had a mask mandate until late last year for 2-year-olds and above, even outdoors. So can you point to any public health benefit of that policy?
Right. We never forced anyone to do anything because we don't have the jurisdiction or authority to do that. What we did was provide guidance on what would be
Mr. Secretary,
the
did
policy.
Head Start have a mask mandate?
We provide a mask mandate, a requirement for jurisdictions that wish to receive money to provide particular
So Head
services.
Start.
Are you joking?
So did you hear what he just said? If you want federal money, you got to do a mask man. Yeah. He just said that.
So it was extortion, is what you're telling me?
Yes, but he said it in gobbledygook speak, so you really wouldn't know what he's saying. But that's exactly what he said. It's outrageous what he's doing. This is your Secretary of Human Health.
That wish to receive money to provide particular services.
That's the most infuriating. We're just saying
To
you
receive
can't get your money unless you do
Unless you do a mask
You
mandate.
can do what you want.
And and now everybody's running from the mask mandates. Everybody's running from the vaccine mandates. Everybody's also running from the school lockdown mandates. Remember? Oh, no, nobody wants to take responsibility for advocating school lockdowns anymore because we all know they were horrible. People called me anti-union, anti-workers. My friends on social media called me anti-worker and anti-teacher because I was for opening the schools back up when this teacher unions wanted to keep them closed.
Anti-work. So it's pro-worker to force them to take a rushed,
Yes,
albeit great vaccine.
It's pro-worker to mandate a vaccine.
Yeah.
An experimental medical treatment.
Do they still wear masks, these friends, now? Because
Yes.
if you still, look, I'll never say a bad word about the safe, effective vaccine, but if you're still wearing a mask now, you're kind of a dipshit.
Kind of.
I'm trying to be nuanced in my language of calling you a dipshit if you outside wearing a mask.
Okay, here, let's watch the rest of this. There's more to this.
We provide a mask mandate, a requirement for jurisdictions that wish to receive money to provide particular services.
So he says, yes, we mandated a mask mandate for jurisdictions, meaning, I guess, states in the country that wanted money. If you wanted federal money to help fight COVID, you had to do a mask mandate.
You just held it over your head.
And he's just pretending like they didn't do that. He goes, we didn't have the ability to do that. You just said you did.
They can just not have any money.
Yeah.
What a piece of
Do you
shit.
see this piece of shit
Look at his
lying
face while he says it.
every way he can lie?
He's going to get a pat on the back when he gets back to work from this. Like, you
Yeah.
handled that great.
Did have a mask mandate for kids, yes?
We had a mask mandate for for agencies that wish to get federal dollars.
So that's a yes. So can you
services.
point to any benefit,
not a yes to
any
your
public
question.
health benefit from that policy, whether it was recommended or enforced or forced, of requiring young children to wear masks?
Did families benefit from the policy of using all protection, all precautions to avoid?
Not the question again.
No, I'm not asking you to
contracting COVID?
rephrase my
Yes.
question as some
Also, no,
abstract
they
question that you'd rather answer. I'm asking that you, as the person who's the Secretary of Health and Human Services, right now, can you point to any evidence that there was a public health benefit to forcing young children to wear masks?
Well, the fact that today we are not losing lives the way we lost them when we first got into this
What?
pandemic.
And you think that's
is a
because we
clear
forced
sign.
2-year-olds to wear
And that's very scientific, huh?
Wow.
Well, today,
How
yes.
do you know January 6th didn't save lives then? If you just go
Yeah.
with that tenuous a link,
Yeah.
we're not losing many lives.
We're not losing that many
Must have
lives from
worked.
COVID after January 6th, so January 6th must have worked.
I don't know. I don't even know what this job is. Who? What happened?
What? What now with the who? What?
masks?
That's your interpretation. What I'm saying to you is that using good policies that give us the precautions to keep our families from contracting COVID are helping save
I want to
lives.
quote you
Did your
from an
family
article
get
from
COVID? How many people got COVID
NPR
in
in
your family?
January.
All of them?
All of them, right? Everybody in your family got COVID, right? So how did it stop them from getting COVID?
Everybody wore a mask and then got COVID.
Everybody got a mask, everybody got a vaccine, and then everybody got
In fact, I'll
COVID.
bet the vaccine would have worked even better if we didn't have to wear a mask with it.
2022. It says the United States is an outlier in recommending masks from the age of 2 years old. The World Health Organization does not recommend masks for children under age 5, while the European equivalent of the CDC doesn't recommend them for children under age 12. In retrospect, was it a mistake for the United States to defy the international norm on child masking?
The U.S. has been working closely with our international partners, and we have done more than any other country to try
But that's
to help
not what
our-
So do you think these people are going to act any differently the next time they manufacture something like this?
Dude, I would throw a pen right in that guy's eyeball.
Do you
from
think
the thing.
this doesn't outrage you? No, it doesn't. It doesn't outrage the MSNBC viewer, the CNN viewer, the Fox News, maybe the Fox News viewer.
Who's still watching Fox News at this point?
But no one's watching it either. There it is. That doesn't outrage you that this guy doesn't give a shit. He's not following the science. He's just enforcing mandates on children and then doesn't take responsibility for it when questioned by Congress. Won't take responsibility for it, but believe me, he's going to do it again. And he's not apologizing for it.
I bet Jon Stewart will do it.
What's that?
I'm sure Jon Stewart will do a great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
Jon
he used to do when they showed. That's why I used to see C-SPAN of this kind of stuff. Jon Stewart's got that show. I'm sure he'll cover this.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll cover it.
Because I bet he would notice some hypocrisy or something.
I bet he's outraged.
I asked you, was it a mistake?
Closely with our international partners, and we have done more than any other country to try
But that's
to
not
help
what I asked you. I asked you, was it a mistake to defy the international norm on the issue of child masking?
We continue to use all the best practices when it comes to making sure people take the precautions.
Is there a reason you're not answering my question, Mr. Secretary?
I'm answering the question the best I can because you keep phrasing questions that are already geared to get a particular answer.
Yes,
Mr. Secretary.
I can't watch this silently. It's like upsetting me. This ruined my day getting this key before the show. They actually ruined my goddamn day.
Apology implies an error was made. What I hear is almost a defiance and annoyance at how dare their policies be questioned by mortals. The display of such arrogance across the ruling class is a reminder that nothing has changed and we can expect the same or worse the next time around. We have seen a lot of theater since the change in the U.S. House leadership, but nothing, absolutely no real change that will impact the future pandemics that are surely coming. And that terrifies me. That we, the people, are helpless against the people who have total power over us.
You know what terrifies me?
So
the WHO had a better policy than America did.
That's right.
We're actually be better off being ruled by the overlord,
right?
The Bill Gates overlord,
by an unelected. So I don't know what. So the Republicans are having these hearings now, and we get to have these kind of moments, but they're not going to do a goddamn thing about it either. Because they're also beholden to Big Pharma, the health insurance industry, and they're also your enemies. They can do this. This is all theater.
That's why the guy can lie like that.
The Twitter files, there was all theater. There's nothing going to happen from any of this. And that's why that guy can lie like this.
Nobody gave a rat's ass, other than a very few people, about the Twitter files. To this day, I tell you, they have no idea that all those agencies work together on Twitter to try to censor low followed accounts for they have not didn't even pay attention. They're like, oh, it's a big nothing burger. I heard from a guy who heard from a guy. So
I know. And as long as doctors are still one of the most trusted professions, we will stay guinea pigs for the pharmaceuticals, cash cows for big agriculture, and we're going to keep getting charged $629 for a Band-Aid in an emergency room. That's an actual charge. $620. That actually happened. For a Band-Aid.
Keep in mind, Big Pharma provides the legal drugs that rich people take, and the ones they used to control their shitty rich kids for years, and they don't really care about that. They're like, oh, it's a miracle I gave I'm repulsive, and so my kids screwed up, and we just put these pills in them, and it works great as far as So remember Rolling Stone guy, Jan Wenner? We have a great pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
This dopey kid took over the magazine and ruined it.
It's amazing how Joe Rogan can just expose those guys.
Because he just
asks basic questions.
Yeah, it's not. In fact, that's how they got to the point where what is a woman should be easy to answer, even if you believe trans women are women. I could answer it if I was asked.
I could answer it.
But they all are like, oh, it's a trap to have everything's a dog whistle. Like a normal question, yes or no. Yes or no is a dog whistle.
I'm astonished he was so unprepared, this woman says. I wonder if the Health and Human Services is in such a bubble, they don't even realize child masking is controversial. or that people have actually looked at data behind the policies, or looked for it, rather, because there wasn't any to speak of, as evidenced by his non-response. There was never any evidence that showed masking, especially masking toddlers, did anything good. So I think that's where she's wrong when she says she was astonished that he was so unprepared, because he wasn't unprepared at all. This is how they prepare a psychopath.
Yeah, that's how the whole thing is set up. That's why we think the Undertaker was unprepared for Kane at SummerSlam, and
well, maybe he couldn't answer those questions because he was masked as a child, and he has a little bit of his trouble. This is the result of so much COVID pseudoscience. How do you say that word?
Pseudo.
I always say pseudo for some reason. This is the result of so much COVID pseudoscience becoming embedded in the infectious disease field as fact. For the field to recover, it will need to recognize and purge the falsehoods.
What?
For the field to recover, the field made more money than they ever have in all of history.
Recover?
Recover?
How are you going to recover?
Yeah. There's another one. The more you watch the smug testimony from Becerra, Walensky et al., the more you realize public health actually doesn't care about regaining the public's trust. It doesn't. Meaning this, when you see the head of the CDC, the head of the HHS, everybody talks about how they lost public trust over COVID, but no one seems to give a shit about trying to get it back because it doesn't matter. Yeah. They're all going to go get jobs in pharma.
You're an idiot who shouldn't do your own research. What do I care what you trust?
That's right.
Just trust what I'm telling you, stupid.
They're basically sneering at us and saying, well, say and do what we want, and we'll say and do what we want, and there's nothing you can do about it. By the way, public health, that's commie talk, isn't it? Our only public health is one long advertisement from Psychopath Corporation that runs in between warmongering programs. Am I right?
Public health. Was it an advertisement for some pills I should tell the doctor to give me?
Jerry Sandusky came off less suspicious of a scumbag in his interview than that guy does.
Remember how
people remember Jerry Sandusky? I remember.
From UPenn, they're like, are you attracted to boys? Yeah. So we'll say what now?
What?
Huh?
I mean, horseplay. It was horseplay. We're doing horseplay in the shower.
What I'll say is I like boys. I don't not.
Those people came in my house. They had dinner on my porch.
I let them into my basement. Did I use best practices? Did I do more than Europe? Everybody that still believes in all this is like Dottie Sandusky. I can't make that. So I bring up Jerry Sandusky because all the people that are like this, when you tell them about it, they're Dottie No, Jerry was just helping those boys.
Yes.
They're liars.
Hey, come see us live on tour. Be in Bakersfield, Baltimore, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Rosemont, and Chicago, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, New York City, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Stamford, Connecticut, and more. Hey, go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.